for the big broadcast.
We're not professional podcasters.
Say what?
We barely know what we're doing.
It's funny because it's true.
But we have fun anyway.
I'm here to podcast.
Does everybody know what time it is?
We're going streaking! Yeah!
No, we're not. It's time for movies, pop culture, and more with the all-new Culture Cast, starting now.
I am the Gorehound.
And I'm Jen.
And we are the all-new Culture Cast, back for the latest edition, minus our usual Nick, but it is just us two powering
Absolutely.
through. I apologize about missing last week. It's been a little stressful, so I was trying to get a little bit of... I was taking a personal day.
Fair enough.
Yeah. How are you doing today, Jen?
Oh, it's a good day. Yeah. I have summer hours at work, so I'm not working tomorrow.
Yeah, neither am I, but that's because
nice.
I ended up working all weekend, like no joke, all weekend. It was awful. So I hit my 40 hours and I was like, I'm out.
Yes.
So no, but I was reading an article about how more companies are allowing people to take Fridays off, and I'm like, that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Because who doesn't?
Absolutely.
Like that?
I mean, I was listening to a podcast recently about David Bach, who's an author about, finances and that kind of thing. And he took like an 18-month sabbatical. And so he had done this podcast about how people should take sabbaticals. And I was like, yeah.
Oh my God.
We should. Agreed.
Yeah. But there's no reason to invest in your employees. That's stupid.
Yeah. I mean, it's too bad, right?
All right. So you're doing good. That is good. So this week we are talking about Handmaid's Tale, the new TV series. Jen's pick. I'm not sure I would have picked this one. It's worth talking about, but let's start us off. What have you been watching, Jen?
What have you been watching?
Well, I was watching a lot of Handmaid's Tale, but in between I was also rewatching my show, The Good Place, which is that show about people who end up in heaven and all the wacky shenanigans that happen to them, which was tonally very different from what I was watching with The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, you mentioned this TV series before.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It was a limited run, 13 episodes. Although they did get renewed for season 2, and I believe they are filming now.
Where do you watch it on?
Hulu.
Okay. And
Hulu.
Since we obviously have subscription, I will check that out.
I know. The problem with a lot of TV is that, first of all, there's so much of it. But second of all...
gosh, so much. How can you keep up with all of it? It's crazy.
Oh, you can't. You can't. I finally, and now I feel like I'm a little bit caught up in the zeitgeist, having seen this thing that was just very popular, but but now there's more new things, and it's like, who can keep up?
Yeah.
Better just rewatch things I've already seen.
Yeah, and honestly, there's nothing I'm more excited to watch than movies that are out. And I just I can't watch these movies. I have to catch up with all this bullshit TV. So, priorities.
It's true.
So, what else?
That is pretty much it. I've been, it was a 10-episode commitment to The Handmaid's Tale, so it has just been a Handmaid's Tale for a whole week.
How far in are you?
I watched the whole thing.
Oh, man. Okay. You're a trooper. So you haven't seen any movies in the past week or so?
No.
No? I'm not sure if I've mentioned it, but I finished Shameless, what's available freely streaming. So I finished that one. Kind of glad that I finished it off because
you must be excited.
It was 6 seasons, and they were good, but I kind of need to watch something just horrific or science fiction-y just to get back into the swing of things, because that's what powers me. I've got the day off tomorrow, and I'm just going to watch horror movies all day. And they're not going to be good. They're not going to be good horror movies. They are going to be awful. One of them that I just watched, which was so bad I had to recommend it. It's called The Sand.
Uh-huh.
And it's just this movie about a whole bunch of people who are partying on the beach, and then the sand turns into this monster, and they can't touch the sand. You remember as a kid, I'm not sure if you played it, but there was this kid's game where you can't touch the ground because it's lava.
Oh yeah, of course I played that.
And
it's called The Playground.
That's pretty much what this movie was. except the sand is a monster. And it was so good because these people are adults and they're trying to like do this serious thing, and it's awful, but it was so entertaining. I was so glad to have found it. I can't say enough about it. What is the movie you're most looking forward to watching tomorrow? It's called Evil Bong 666.
Obviously.
Yeah, it's a Full Moon Features film. Full Moon has put together all of the puppet masters, obviously the Evil Bong, the Ginger Dead Man.
A sentence I never thought anyone would say to me.
And there's a few other older ones like Subspecies, which are pretty good. But Puppet Master was a movie that I watched like real young, and it was one of those where it was like real late at night, and I was just like flipping through the channels, and I'm like 6 years old, and I see this like doll, who I later found out to be Blade, and it was just like so cool. This like doll was like killing all these people, and I was like, oh man. And there's like 13 Puppet Masters right now. And I mean, they're all like really bad, and some of them are like unwatchable, but some of them are just like so entertaining. I just love watching them. And so Evil Bong is a newer series off of Full Moon Features, which I'm, to say the least, looking forward to watching tomorrow.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, and since we do have Hulu, the girl has been watching a lot of The Mindy Project, which is kind of unavoidable when she's watching it all the time, so I've been getting
I loved that show for 2.5 seasons, and then the lead character got knocked up, and I was out.
Yeah, I really don't follow it at all, except I was like, oh, this one episode, her hair is like 3 inches, and yeah, I don't know, I don't really enjoy it, but I watch it.
I will say, so on that show, Danny Castellano's brother is played by the guy who is on The Handmaid's Tale. So I'm watching this show, and I just kept going, I've definitely seen you in something. Why do I know you? Why do I know you? That's why I know him.
I did not notice that. Yeah, besides that, nothing much. I've been trying to watch some stuff. Oh, and I watched like this really old sci-fi movie. I've got like a compilation of just like old sci-fi movies, and this one was like humans versus the flying saucers, which is just like this 1960s or 1970s sci-fi movie that's just black and white. But I mentioned before, but it helps like put me to sleep, is watching these old sci-fi movies that are just like really long and just they're boring, but they do it. So, anything else to add?
Nope, I think that's everything I've watched.
So, Man Crush of the Week.
Man Crush.
It's kind of a portmanteau. I couldn't come up with one, but I could come up with like 3. So take it as you will. But the 3 are Still Raining, Steve Howey from Shameless.
Oh my god.
Shia LaBeouf and Haley Joel Osment.
Okay.
So,
Shia LaBeouf, I don't think you've ever once talked to me about. Tell me more about that.
No? Oh man, I have to show you this photo of him. He's in like this workout getup. He's wearing like pink spandex, pink spandex pants, a cyan hoodie, and like purple shoes, and like this big beard. And for some reason, it's just like, I respect this guy on a weird level. And when he did that thing where he was like, I'm going to watch every single one of my movies and I'm going to live stream it. Did you remember that?
I do remember that.
And for some reason, I just like, what a guy. Like, I applaud him for doing it, because I feel like when somebody does like one of these like acts that are like really drawn out and long, the fact that they can actually do it, like sit through all of their movies and like enjoy them or something, or at least give the impression that he's enjoying them, for some reason just did it for me.
I definitely remember when that all went down and people were like posting screenshots or pictures of his face while he was watching certain movies.
Right.
Like somebody had posted a bunch of pictures of him watching the Even Stevens like Disney Channel movie.
Yeah.
And he seemed to be enjoying it, which I found very endearing.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I do not think he is a good actor. I'm not sure I've seen all of his movies, but most of what I've seen are like really bad. It's that I like him as a person, because he also did that like anti-Trump speech, and as psycho as he was, I was like, what a guy. I like a guy who was like willing to cause a fight. But he's also in the news this week about some guy serving him like bad French fries. So if that didn't happen, he would have, taken the lead as Man Crush of the Week. Mm. So, and then Haley Joel Osment, just because he has been in the Silicon Valley series, and as soon as he came on, I was like, "This is awesome." He looks so crazy and ugly, but for some reason, have you been watching Silicon Valley?
No, I watched like the first 2 episodes, and I was just like, I hate every single person on this show.
Really? Even Guilfoyle, the Martin Starr from Freaks and Geeks?
I mean, I like Martin Starr in, oh my god, what was the one where they were cater waiters?
I'm not sure.
I like him in other things. The show drove me nuts. Although, the fact that TJ Miller is leaving it makes me think, maybe.
Oh yeah, I do not like it. I'm not a fan of TJ Miller at all. I just think he's obnoxious in every sense of the word. But you should check out Silicon Valley. It's really entertaining, and I just think that more people should give it a shot, because it's like the one show that I look forward to each week for a while. It just had the season finale this past week, which was, the series has been going down, but it's still entertaining. Yeah, no, because it's what, its 4th season or something? Yeah, something like that. That does it for Man Crush of the Week. So, you ready to jump on into this bad boy? Absolutely. All right. How far into the series did you get? I believe I am... How many episodes are there? 10. Okay, I believe I'm on 6. I just finished 6. Okay. All right. But I did read the book pretty recently. I've read the book, and then I refreshed with the audiobook. So I feel like the book is more familiar in my mind than the series. Well, that's fantastic. Yeah. You said that you had read the book? I read the book long enough ago that I remembered some things, but not a lot of things. And you enjoyed it? I liked the book when I read it. Okay. I liked how ambiguous the ending was. I feel like this... I mean, obviously you did pick this movie, but it seems like a good pick, because it seems like something that you would be really interested in, because you do like this these serious type movies, and it's very... There's a lot to talk about with it. Absolutely. I'm not sure if I could keep up, because I don't watch a whole lot of serious stuff. I found this series to be pretty depressing, and it's but it makes a big statement. Well, I mean, to be fair, I think it's depressing to everybody except maybe Mike Pence. Yeah. He's like, these are good ideas. Well, listen, a lot of people watched this series and they said, well, this is what Trump wants with America. Trump does not want this. Trump does not have the attention span to even consider this. Yeah. This is what Mike Pence wants. Yeah. Absolutely. If he could make it happen, he would. So yeah, you watched this, or you read it, back in the day, and yeah, back in the day, like I said, so it was probably like around let's say 2008 or something, so it's been a while. I did remember parts of it, definitely. Other parts were a little less obvious. Were there any like major differences you noticed between the book and the series? The one thing that I didn't recall was the switching back and forth so much between flashback and current day. That's fair. I don't recall that happening so much, because I remember the book, it wasn't so much focused on why we are here, like how did we get to this point. It was more like, this is how it is now, we just have to like move forward and, you know, try to cope with all of this bullshit. But I should say that this is, if it wasn't obvious, this is an adaptation of a 1985 novel by Margaret Atwood, and it's basically just it's a dystopian novel in the truest sense of the word. If I could give the plot summary, correct me if I'm wrong or butchering, because I do have a tendency to butcher everything. Basically, the government has taken over, the Constitution has been suspended, and there's a big class system where people are in one class, and that pretty much determines what is happening to them for the rest of their life. Most of the focus is on the handmaids, who are pretty much just slaves and baby-giving peoples that are ruled by the rich and the government, and they really are slaves in the perfect sense of the word, where they don't have a choice, and it's pretty much you do what they tell you or figure out a way to kill yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think that's a pretty good summary. It definitely takes place in a little bit of the future, but not too far into the future.
Right, yeah.
They've updated the technology in the series, but...
Yeah, it's certainly not like 2050. This is like next year or two.
Yeah.
Which, I think it's great that they're putting this movie out, but I don't think it's going to change anybody's opinion, because I feel like the people who are watching this already hate Trump and already don't like the current government. So right. It's a good story, but it's not a political statement that is going to change very many people's minds.
Well, I mean, I think you could make that argument about a lot of media out there. Right. I mean, you know, I think one thing I think this series does that you don't see in a lot of other series is it gets very overt with the political messages, whereas I feel like, you know, outside of like a Stephen Colbert or something like that, most kind of, you know, it's either political satire that is, you know, based on what actually happened this morning, or it's, you know, there could be some, you know, political, you know, you can have like a West Wing where, yes, there's like an actual president that's, you know, going through the motions of being president, or you can have kind of a political allegory or something where you're not really, you know, naming names, or you can have something like Veep where you've got a president, but like they never say what anyone's political affiliations are, you know, so that it can try to appeal to the broadest number of people possible.
Yeah. I
mean, I don't know how you could do this series and not leave out some of the people who should probably see it the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were your impressions when you read the book?
It was very difficult to get through because it was just so depressing, and I don't know if it's just I've reached a point in my life where I don't really read novels of value anymore. Like, I read comic books and books by David Duchovny, and that's about it. Like, because a few years back, like, my New Year's resolution was to, like, read environmental classics, and that was, like, so difficult to get through because they were just, like, so boring and dense. And after that, I was like, I just want to read comic books for, like, the rest of my life. I mean, it's odd, but I mean, I did get through it. The audiobook was very easy to get through. I think somebody, like a celebrity, narrated it, which made it all the better. But yeah, it was depressing and sad, honestly.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, watching the series versus reading the book or listening to the book, what kind of came alive for you in ways that,
I think that I liked that they flashed back and then forward, which I think really helped hammer in, because if we don't see how we got here, like, does it really matter what's happening? Like, we see, like, the gradual, it's not gradual at all. It's, these people had a life, and now they don't. And you're like, how could they have gotten to this point in their life? And we see it like, they really didn't get there. They were like forced into this position. And there are just so many people who are just standing by and just brainwashed with all of this. Like, I know that soldiers have like their own opinions and they are like willing to like not do something out of like moral obligation. But the fact that like none of these soldiers are doing anything and they're pretty much like robots is the way that I was interpreting their stance, is that they're not thinking about anything. And I'm not even sure if they're like listening to like why the government is telling them to do it. It's just like, okay, this is my order and okay, I'm just going to proceed through life not thinking about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, so I think, it was definitely something, I think. I mean, I liked the book, but I think, it definitely, I pick up a lot, I think there's a lot of things that when I read, I tend to kind of gloss over details like what people are wearing or, kind of, action scenes, that kind of thing. I tend to kind of gloss over when I'm reading. And I thought it was very visually stunning, a lot of the shots in the series. And I really like what they did with like the colors, how they had everyone kind of clearly defined and what colors they were wearing, to let you know what their position was in society. Mm-hmm. And it's one thing to kind of read about women in red hoods or whatever. And it's another to see a bunch of them, come into, a dinner party, in giant lines. And then it's this very visual sweep, or to see, women in red, helping with things like the birth of a baby, and then the women in green all kind of taking the baby away, and they're all, none of them have had to give birth or do anything there. So, it's just a really interesting
yeah, and it simplifies their positions, because people today are never like solidly in one position or another. They're always like, I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and sometimes this. Like, forcing somebody to just like raise children their entire life or their entire child-given years is like, that's just, it's not natural. But it reinforces like this is a dystopian universe where it's just this isn't reality, but at the same time, it kind of is. As generic as that is.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I thought one of the kind of highlights of the show has been the really dramatic uses of like sweeping cameras and drone shots, and just I think they've done a lot of really interesting things with the direction.
Mm-hmm. From production value, the series is fantastic. I mean, it's everybody knows what they're doing, and you're not really like we know that we're not thinking about like all of these things. It's because it's when you have like a good series, you're not really focusing in on, oh, that person's not supposed to be there, or that's like poor lighting, or what's going on. And we're thinking about the themes that the director is trying to put in here, not about like, oh, this is a very good series. It's kind of just, we assume that it's a very good series, and we could think about why are the characters doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think one of the other things that I found really interesting was in the novel, obviously, we're staying completely with Offred and her thoughts and her viewpoints and what she sees or doesn't see, and everything else is a little bit of a question mark. But here, we definitely get point of view scenes from other characters. We get to see characters where she's not in the room or she's not even in the area, and I think that's a really fascinating way to kind of expand within the story.
Yeah. Moving on to the characters, I thought the diversity of the characters really helped, because she has we have a few people who were following the entire series. One of them is Alexis Bledel of what's the series that she's in? Gilmore Girls. So, and I've never really seen her in anything other than Gilmore Girl. So seeing her in that was a very iconic.
Do you watch Gilmore Girls?
She did. So,
of course,
I in turn did. But Elizabeth Moss is the central character, who is also of Mad Max fame. Or Mad Men fame. She is not in Mad Max. Alexis Bledel and Elizabeth Moss, and then who was the black girl? Moira? Yeah.
Played by Samira Wiley. She's from Orange is the New Black.
Okay, I thought I recognized. Yeah, she watched that one a little bit. But yeah, all three of these characters are very unique and they're different from each other. So as I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, this is Moira, this is Offred. And it's kind of showing, like, they're all handmaids, but they are, like, so different from each other. And it helps separate the characters. Because in the book, I see them all as handmaids, and I see them all as the same type of person. So I thought that was a good point.
It was really interesting, and I think in the book when we see what's her name, Gilmore Girls character, she kind of disappears from the narrative, and we never see her again. But here, you see her again,
right
after she gets taken away.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the series moving along, because the book does move along pretty quick. There's always something intense happening, and I want to see all these scenes because, as I know from the book, and spoiler alert, there's the brothel scene. And I'm looking forward to seeing the transformation of a handmaid going from this to that. And to see
that was a scene in the show that I did not remember at all from the book. So it was a really interesting way to. It was really interesting to see in the series.
Yeah.
Having just watched the whole series, I definitely went and put my name on the waiting list for the book at the library.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it's going to be a while because everyone is trying to get that book right now.
Yeah. I own the book. And I wanted to get the audiobook so that I could, like, cruise through it at work. It was really difficult to find that audiobook because I think only Audible had it available, like, unless I wanted to pay, like, $30 for it. And I don't know, is the cheap ass that I am, I wanted to get, like, a free subscription to Audible because how easy is that? And apparently I've used, like, every credit card to do every subscription, and I think I figured it out some way or another, but yeah, it's a popular read right now, and for good reason. It's many people should read it.
Absolutely. So. And I think it's always interesting. It would be interesting in a world where the election had gone a different way to see if the series would kind of be resonating with people in the same way.
Yeah. Yeah,
also, we wouldn't be about to go to war with Russia.
Yeah. If Hillary had won, would we have still been this disgruntled and so interested in this, dystopian universe? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it would be interesting to live that life.
Yeah. But going back to the characters, I didn't recognize any other people besides Elizabeth Moss and Alexis Bledel. You said that you recognized a few people?
Samira Wiley's from
Orange is the New Black.
Orange is the New Black. The one who plays Serena Joy, the wife. She is somebody, but I've never seen her in anything. But I've definitely seen her before. And then the husband is what is his name? He is
Serena Joy is Jovan Stravoski,
right? And
the commander is Joseph Fiennes.
Yes, that's what it is. Yes, Shakespeare himself.
Yes. Who the Graveyard Queen actually thinks that he is going to turn out to be gay, but I know from the series that he is not. But I could see it.
She thinks the actor or the character?
The character is gay. Mm-hmm. But we know that he is not, because we know what happens.
Yeah, no. But they play him very well, because when he first comes onto the scene, you're like, oh, maybe he's not quite as big a creep. But no, I mean, he is that big a creep. Anyone who would not only have a handmaid in his own home, but also you can see in flashbacks, was kind of the driving force behind the existence of the Handmaids.
Was he?
Yeah, you see him, maybe it wasn't in an episode you've seen yet, but there's definitely some flashbacks with him and Serena Joy kind of working together to create a lot of the legislation and a lot of the optics behind the new religion. One of the most interesting scenes they show with the two of them is the two of them pre, whatever war or whatever has gone on the show. Before, it's still America, before it's Gilead. You see the two of them, kind of in the throes of passion, like coming home from, for a quickie between lunch and still like taking the time to pray before having sex, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah.
So you get the feeling that they are actually devout to some degree, but then they also are definitely kind of using religion in a way, to not only, control the masses, but also kind of put wealth in their own pockets.
Yeah.
Again, I understand why you think this series is not going to appeal to the people it should appeal to, but you can definitely see, how they could echo some popular real-life evangelists.
Yeah. I am looking forward to seeing that, because I think that will help. Because in the series, in the book, and from what I've seen, I've kind of felt like he was just dumb and stupid, where he's just kind of like, I'm just going through the motions because that's what I'm supposed to do in this society. But yeah, we'll see how that comes along.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's definitely, they play him, because at first you're like, oh, look at how nice he's being to her. They get to play, Scrabble or whatever, but there, he definitely has a creepy side, and definitely, I think it can, I think she gets this brief, Alfred gets a brief almost crush on him at one point, not quite to the point of like actually falling in love with him or anything, but definitely, thinks he might not be as terrible as, say, a Serena Joy, and then you can kind of see that, no, he really is,
yeah,
he's a sleaze, he's a creep, he's definitely engineered this to make this be something he would enjoy. Yeah.
What else is on your mind?
So I think, like I said, visuals interesting. So I have been, like I mentioned, marathoning this, kind of nonstop over the past couple of days. So I did not watch it. I know Hulu does things a little bit different than Netflix, where they do have an episode coming out every Wednesday. Do you think that you liked it better watching it in a row, or do you think you would have preferred to kind of have it unfold?
Oh yeah, if this was, because it's completely available right now. If I had to look forward to this every week, it would have drawn it out so much longer. Because I'm at the point where I'm like, I need to get through this so I can get on to, the next teen slasher. So, because yes, I do find the value in these more serious pieces of cinema that are making a point and also make you kind of come to terms with, oh, what could happen? What is happening? It's just, sometimes I need a little bit of in-between to help me get back into what I personally enjoy watching on a day off. So what else do we got?
So are you going to finish the series?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Hands down, we will finish it. Just because
has the Graveyard Queen also been watching?
Yeah. And I think she's more intrigued with it. But yeah, this is. Oh, there was one season recently that we just like dropped halfway through. I don't remember what that was, but that must have been because like we didn't find any like cultural value in it. I want to think of it. I'll think of it and I'll get back to you. But no, this is a good series that is worth watching. So, I wanted to mention that there is this was a 1985 film, book, but there's also a 1990 film adaptation. I will repeat, that is 1990. and this cover just looks so 1990 that looks not as intense, because it looks a little bit, it looks very 90s, much different than what I've just been watching. But yeah, I haven't heard anything about this, probably because I'm not sure how great it was.
Yeah, no, it would have come out, so the book was from 1985, so it would have come out just a few years after it.
Right.
But yeah, no, you don't hear anyone ever talking about it. I would be curious just to see it if it was streaming, but you know.
Yeah, and I'm sure that there are some popular people, like, Robert Duvall, he's popular, and Faye Dunaway, but I don't follow them at all.
Sure. Oh, Natasha Richardson. It's real sad when she died, remember?
I don't.
She was married to Liam Neeson, and in 1998 she was skiing and skied into a tree or something. It was real sad, and she died pretty young. Her mom was really a respected actress. So anyway, but
yeah, just
kind of looking at some of the screenshots of this movie, you can definitely see the difference in how much money they spent on the costumes.
Oh yeah, because they just look like just like bed sheets.
It does look a little bit like they put on.
Yeah.
I have to say, especially, looking at these terrible and very 1990s hairstyles, I think one of the things I like best about the series, just in terms of giving it both a visual power and, I think a lot of times in movies or TV, you see clothes that don't really, that cover the actor, and that's good, but they don't really, tell the story. But when you look at something like those headpieces they have to wear every time they're outside of the home. Yeah. That they always wear the white caps, but then additionally they wear those kind of tunnel heads,
right?
Every time they go outside, and I think it's so fascinating because it really not only makes for some interesting, visuals, but it makes a lot of sense if you're trying to, kind of keep these women both not engaged in the world and not really getting to see what's going on, and
and they're just so stupid. I mean, they play a part in this, but it's just I hate this idea that they have to wear these blinders because they're not allowed to look at something,
right?
And because I've done field work in the winter where it's very cold and we have to walk through a snowy and when there's just snow everywhere. And so I'm wearing two hats and my hood is up and I can only see out of this area that's just open for my eyes, and it's so difficult to see and it's so frustrating. And the fact that they have to wear these as soon as they get out of the house, it's oh my gosh.
Yeah. But I mean, when you think about a lot of religious dress, if you're looking at nuns or the Amish or, anything like that, it definitely has a certain echo in that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think it's interesting because it's not, it's absolutely ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sign up for my own, personal head bucket. But it definitely kind of makes sense as an extension of some of the other things that women wear in religious cultures,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it goes to show just how great of a story novel that Margaret Atwood had created, because the blinders are very applicable to putting these women in their place according to somebody else's guidelines.
Yeah, absolutely.
What else do we got going on with this?
Let's see. What else? One of the things that they said they did different in the book versus in the novel was in the book, all the women in the brothel were sterilized. But when you think about it, that doesn't make a ton of sense. You think in a world where fertility is so tightly controlled and so many people have gone sterile already, you'd think, even if these children born out of wedlock in these, in a brothel or what have you, you think you just need some people to replace the people that currently exist, even if they're kept at some, especially when you've got these kind of artificial class barriers that are so big.
Yeah.
So I guess that was one major difference between the series and the book. And I think that's really interesting, and I like that they went that way. I think that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, and it's just stupid. I think oxymoronic is the correct term if you're like praising like people who can reproduce and then like restricting some people from doing it. It's just like, what the shit? That doesn't make any sense.
No, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
No, it's I really enjoyed the series. I'm glad I got the opportunity to watch it. I wish I had spread it out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I will be very interested to see where they go next season. Because one of the things that the novel kind of famously does is it ends in a very ambiguous way.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think that they could bring it around for another season and, continue the story.
Right.
Because it does end. The series ends where... I presume that the series ends where the novel does, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
No, it's the same, and that's not really giving you a spoiler to say that it ends the same as the book. But, in the book, you don't really know if she's getting dragged away to something good or something bad, or, if she's getting help or, what exactly is going on.
Yeah. Yeah, because it would be great to see, like... something happy that happens, like an overthrow, or like she joins like some resistance and goes all
just kidding. I
badass.
live in Canada.
Oh my gosh, I would love to see this turn into a war, but then it wouldn't really be as emotional, or it wouldn't be getting the point across, because then it's like, well, the war's never going to end now, so...
No, it'll be interesting to see where they go next season, to kind of have an answer to how the book ends. And I think they've set up a world where, there's a lot of hints about things that are happening. You see the Mexican ambassador, and she's talking about how there haven't been any children born in her, home state or home area. You see, so they've definitely set up a world, you see all these other ambassadors kind of wandering around at various points, and, political people. And I think there's a lot of room to see where the story will expand. Mm-hmm. They've set up a good amount of potential directions they could go next season. If there was, they could be working towards something. Yeah. Like a war, or they could be working towards, a spy story, or they could be working towards, there's a lot of different directions they could go. I think it'll be really interesting to see which way the series ends up going.
Yeah. I wanted to mention that there is another story with a similar premise, The Children of Men, which was a movie from 2006, basically about how, women have become infertile, and like all women, and then there's just this one that isn't, and so she's like the key to salvation. A similar premise, but different. And this sounds like a common science fiction trope where, the survival of humanity is based on like how we treat the situation. But this is the only thing that I could really think of. Do you know of any other stories that are similar?
I think there's a good amount of dystopian fiction out there. That's how I would kind of classify this. I think I have not seen Children of Men, although I've always meant to, because Clive Owen is very good looking. Yeah. Dystopian fiction that specifically is about, kind of reproductive rights. I think that could be an interesting topic, and I'm actually thinking about it now. I'm kind of surprised I don't know of more, because that's kind of the ultimate dystopia, right? Where you don't control your own body, or the government is somehow controlling your body.
Yeah. You think Clive Owen is attractive?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. When I first saw him in the movie Closer in 2004.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He does it for you?
And he's kind of older, and I mostly don't find, significantly older men that attractive. But, man, Clive Owen, absolutely.
Yeah. Huh. He looks like just a regular guy.
Yeah, but
But hey, sometimes regular is good.
Right, and
you don't want to be too weird.
They used him to sell vodka and cigars. I mean, he is both good looking, but he also seems like he could smoke a cigar which actually is
3
pretty
olives,
gross.
huh?
But like, it would be attractive if he did it, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about my man crush of the week. But
Yeah. All right. Anything else on your mind?
no, I think that's good. I think
Okay.
it's a wrap.
Do you have trivia? I do.
Nope. You do the trivia.
Okay.
It's trivia time!
The one thing, this may have been like blatant or obvious or something, or already covered, but I see that the names of the handmaids are in relation to the commander that they are assigned.
Yes.
I guess I could have thought about it, but like Offglen is Glenn's commander, or Offred is Fred's,
Fred's handmaiden, right.
Right. So, I just thought that was quite interesting. The names are weird.
Oh,
and
definitely.
so I just kind of took it like, oh, this must be like a name from the Bible or something like that, which they pull those names like, all these names are just from the Bible, and it's just crazy that there's, the government is based off of the Bible.
Yeah, I think, God, how weird were those ceremonies?
Yeah.
Not the way people should have threesomes. If they're going to have them, probably not that way.
Yeah, and it's just like, how did they get there?
Yeah, no. I was going to say, I think the naming convention in the book is really fascinating because it kind of dehumanizes you, and they said that if you don't have a baby, in the 2 years you're with the one family, you get moved to the next family, and then you just change names. I mean, can you imagine if every 2 years someone told you your name was different?
Yeah, you can't take away, as weird as anybody's name is, you can't take it away from them. It's, yeah. Enough said about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. That was The Handmaid's Tale, and I am the Gorehound.
And I'm Jen.
And this has been the All New Culture Cast. We will catch you next week.
You've been listening to the All New Culture Cast, one of Chicagoland's finest podcasts.
Fall asleep to death.
Blog at znculturecast.wordpress.culturecast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback, comments, and requests. Follow us on social media. Theme music by Ben Saltwater Production. Copyright 2017. Thanks for listening.